guys, how's it going? Daniel here. So it's been more than 6 months now since the release of the iPhone 11 that I have been using this phone every single day as my main smartphone of choice. So today I want to give you guys my review of what it's been like using the iPhone 11 for more than 6 months now. My thoughts, what I would like, maybe some stuff to be improved and changed, and my dislikes of using this phone. So let's begin. So of course, the iPhone 11, I don't carry it like this without a case. I always have a case with it. I usually have the Moment case, which is my favorite case right now, just because of the attachments I can add to the lens of the Moment lenses. So yeah, this is my go-to choice for a case. I always have a case on my iPhone 11. Just for the video right here, I don't have it. But yeah, I always want to carry a case on it just because these iPhones cost a lot of money. They cost over $1,000, and I don't. And so yeah, it's a big investment for me personally, financially, of course. So that's why I always like to have a case just to protect the phone, and it has protected my phone. Just having a case because I have dropped it about twice from dangerous heights, and I've been lucky enough that it hasn't cracked or anything. So very happy with that. But yeah, it's been really fantastic. So yeah, I always have a case on my iPhone 11 or any other smartphone, of course, that you see me carrying around. So I've been a fan of this design look with the camera bump in the back. I really like this design. It's just really fantastic, and I just like the matte finish inside the camera bump, which is really unique, of course. In the iPhone 11 Pro, the matte finish, of course, is all over the whole back, except on the camera bump. On the camera bump, it's not a matte finish. So I just like how Apple did something different with both phones and adding a matte finish on both phones. Now, of course, I would have liked a matte finish on the whole back of this phone, but it's still really nice just to look at that nice little frosty look to it on the camera bump, which is just really nice. And yeah, I just been a big fan of this design look to it. It's nice and simple, of course, and it just looks fantastic, just like any other cool looking iPhone. So this iPhone has been really fast at running every single apps that I have installed on the phone. It has not lagged a single bit, and it can handle like having a ton of open apps without a problem, exporting a ton of 4K video, editing videos on the iPhone 11 has been really fantastic as well, and it's just been a really smart choice. And yeah, it just hasn't it hasn't caused any problems with me with lag or anything like that. So yeah, it's just been really running smooth, of course. And of course, the iPhone 11 should last you at least a long time. Like Apple phones, iPhones are known for lasting a little longer than Android phones because of software updates. Apple just really does a really great job of keeping up to date every past iPhone. And so yeah, it's just really nice to see that a company like Apple keeps trying to figure out ways to improve older iPhones by supporting them, of course, with the latest iOS updates. So if you have an iPhone 11, it should last you more than 3 years without a problem, and you should be getting those updates every year as well from Apple as well. So yeah, I just been really a fan of the updates that Apple supports to older devices. So yeah, you shouldn't have a problem or worry about if Apple's going to support the iPhone 11 for the next 3 years, because it probably will. So another thing, of course, that I really enjoyed, of course, is iOS 13. It has been really smooth. So Apple hasn't really done any big changes to iOS 13, of course, since it was released. It was mostly the latest update has mostly been bug fixes, and just a lot of fixing around the operating system just so it can run a little bit smoothly without having a ton of bugs, because iOS 12 and iOS 11 have been pretty buggy for me. And so yeah, I'm just happy that iOS 13 is a little bit much more better and reliant, of course, when it comes to bugginess on the iPhone, on the OS, I mean. So yeah, it's just a really decent job that Apple has done with iOS 13. But of course, there are some things that I wish that Apple could change in iOS 13, and some of that stuff is that a design change in iOS, maybe 14, because I'm personally getting a bit of bored with iOS 13, the same design change. It hasn't really changed a lot since iOS 7. It's still pretty much it's the same layout, same everything. Of course, there's been a few design changes by adding widgets and all that stuff, but like pretty much the home screen layout has been pretty much the same for those past years and updates. So hopefully maybe in future updates like iOS 14, maybe fingers crossed, that Apple will probably release maybe a nice little design change to the OS. So hopefully it will. But yeah, I'm personally getting a bit bored with iOS 13's same design look right now. So yeah, Apple, if you're listening or watching this video, please do some design change in the home screen, maybe adding widgets to the home screen or something like that, just so it could be a little bit different as well. So a big thing, of course, a big feature that was talked about when Apple showed it off, the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro in the keynote last year in September, was Deep Fusion. And Deep Fusion was supposed to be this computer AI to make your photography just even better at medium light. So not in low light and not in like when there's a lot of sunlight, but in like medium light. So like just right in the middle between low light um, and the normal daylight, I guess you could call it. Deep Fusion was supposed to be, like I said, it was supposed to be something really big that's supposed to make your photography just really fantastic and amazing. But honestly, taking pictures, of course, on the iPhone 11 has been really great. Of course, it takes fantastic pictures. But personally, I have not seen a big difference when it comes to Deep Fusion. Maybe I don't have the eye to see it or anything like that. But personally, I have not seen the big difference with Deep Fusion on the iPhone 11. Where I have seen a big difference is in low light, in night mode on the iPhone 11 camera, which is just really nice. It does a fantastic job of taking pictures in low light outside and the sunset and everything. It just looks really nice, and I've been a big fan of that feature a lot. I take a lot of pictures in low light, so yeah, I'm really happy with that update and that feature that Apple added to the camera as well. So the U1 chip. So what is the U1 chip? Like Apple talked about this other great feature and everything, and personally I have not really, like, I airplay a ton of stuff. I mean not airplay, airdrop a ton of stuff from my iPhone to the iMac to the iPhone, and personally the U1 chip has, I haven't really seen a big difference or anything like that. It's supposed to be this magic thing where you just point your iPhone to any other maybe iMac or iPad and just airdrop something really fast. Really, I have not really seen a big difference in that, so I can't really talk about that too much right now. So of course, like I talked earlier, of course, the camera, night mode, deep fusion, all great features. Of course, deep fusion, of course, I don't know what that is really. Like I can't really see the feature. Night mode, of course, is an amazing feature that I really like using. But of course, one of the big things that I really enjoyed with the iPhone 11 was the ultra wide lens. So of course I use the ultra wide lens like crazy. Like pretty much that's my default lens right now on the iPhone 11. I take a ton of pictures using the ultra wide lens. I just like getting new perspective in photography using the iPhone 11, and it's just really nice and cool. If you follow me on Instagram, of course I upload a ton of photos with the iPhone 11, and it's pretty much my main camera of choice when uploading to Instagram or other social media sites as well. But one of my favorite features, of course, with the new camera update in iOS 13 was that they added that you could change the settings within the camera app, which is something that Android phones have had for so long. And I'm just so happy how you could change 4K, HD, 24 frames a second, 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, just from inside the camera app without having to open the settings app and go through a ton of just a ton of work just to change a setting, which finally makes sense that Apple has finally added that option inside the camera app. So I'm happy about that. The battery life. So the battery life has actually been amazing. It lasts me pretty much from the time I pick it up from the wireless charger until pretty much like 12 a.m., 1 a.m. when I'm still awake, I have maybe like 20% left of battery by that time, because I've been using it a lot by making a ton of videos with it, taking a lot of pictures with it, making TikTok videos, wasting my time on TikTok, of course, watching a ton of videos there. So yeah, the battery life has been really decent with it. But yeah, I usually need to charge it around like 12 a.m., 1 a.m. I usually need to start plugging it in because it's already at that percentage where it's not running as fast as I wanted to because of the batteries running really low. So yeah, but it does a decent job of lasting pretty much the whole day without any problem. Next, of course, 3D Touch was a feature that I really miss. Rest in peace, 3D Touch. Like pretty much the haptic feedback thing that Apple, like, I don't know why Apple took away 3D Touch. It was one of my favorite features, but I guess like a lot of people say, maybe developers weren't taking advantage of it, and so Apple saw that and it decided just to take it down the feature. For me, it was one of my favorite features, just because I could app shortcuts were really easy to use. You could press them; they were really fast to launch, and I just used them a lot. App shortcuts. But now, whenever I need to press long on an app to get app shortcut, it takes a little longer to load up than it should. But yeah, what can you do? I do miss 3D Touch. It just felt really nice. Just clicking on the screen, like pretty much one giant home button. It felt like for me, and so yeah, I really miss it. But what can you do? Face ID, pretty much is still the same. It still unlocks really fast. 90% of the time, it knows my face and it does a decent job of unlocking it really fast, of course. One of the big features I really hope that maybe Apple can improve with Face ID is unlocking it from different angles. Because sometimes I'm like busy with my both hands and I see I got a new message and I try to put my face out a little bit and it won't unlock. So hopefully maybe different angles will be really nice from Apple to unlock the phone with Face ID. But yeah, and if you're thinking, of course, of buying the iPhone 11, then if you could wait until September, then I highly recommend it, because supposedly the iPhone 12 is supposed to be a new design change of the iPhone, and maybe a new design with iOS, hopefully from the leaks that are coming out. But if you cannot wait, of course, then iPhone 11, it'll get the new updates, of course, from Apple. But yeah, I highly recommend you just wait until September to get the new iPhone 12. But yeah, at the end of the day, I am really happy with this phone. I'm happy with the camera. The battery life is amazing, and it's just a really nice phone to look at. Sometimes I just like stop and like just look at the phone and the design, because I'm just a big fan of the design and just like looking at like electronics and seeing how much awesome they look. So yeah, that's pretty much it with what I like about the iPhone 11 and my review, my thoughts of it, using it now for 6 months. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, I will see you guys later. Peace.